The Google Workspace team are constantly trying to find ways to support and improve your experience in developing your Google Sheet. A little known feature is the Explore tool down the bottom right of your Google Sheet here. What can it do? Well, it can provide suggestions for styling and display your data in charts and pivot tables. It can also suggest formulas. Also, you can make plain language statements or ask questions, and the Explore tool will try and work out what you want to display in your sheet. Let's look at an example. In this first set of data, we have a short survey with 2 questions in it. Each question has a rating system from A through to E. If we leave our cursor on A1 here and select Explore, let's see what comes up. So first you see on the right hand side the Explore menu that pops up with this green header here. And straight up it gives you the range. So it's already guessing the range that you have, which is this A1 to C51. So that would be A1, and let's have a look down the bottom to C51. So that's the full range here. Now you can go ahead and edit that range by clicking on Edit here and make a change and select the range that you want. But in our case, I'm happy with this selection and there's a good preview, so let's cancel and cancel. Next, you can ask questions about the data that you have. There are a list of questions down below. Sometimes they can be helpful, sometimes not so much. It's always helpful to provide feedback back to Google about this, so the system will learn from this and try to improve in future. And that means in the future, you'll have better answers. Next is giving a suggestion for formatting here, and then it gives us a page of analysis. So what's this one say? So count of I will be able to apply information I learned in my workplace. Well, that's this count C here. Okay, that's interesting. That's a pie chart. That's pretty good. Let's see another one. This is a histogram. Yeah, not so helpful here. And then we've got count of the same column C here by A, B, C, D, and E with a total count along the top here. That's not too bad, but it's kind of not in the right order. Okay, so let's scroll up to the top. And let's have a look at an answer. Let's say we want the distribution of column B. Okay, so now we've got a chart with the distribution of column B here. And you can see this is as a chart here or as a formula. So I like both. So let's have a look at this, and we can see the formula first. And we can see here that it's got a nice little filter and it's making a unique range. That's pretty good. So let's insert that. So we can do that by what it says here, click to copy or drag to insert. All right, well, let's drag it over into a cell that we want it inserted, maybe here. And if we click here, we'll be able to see and drag this formula bar down. We'll be able to see the full function here. And in this example, it seems to be sorting by the count. Okay, no worries. So you could format away at this and improve it. You could wrap the text here, or you could put it in a different sheet, and everything would be great. You could sort this range, but you'd have to do it by sorting column B. So we could select A1, hold shift down to C51, and let's see if this helps us. If we go data, sort range, data has a header, and the second option here, and sort. And now you can see we've got A, B, C, D, and E in a good sort here. So that's great. Okay, let's go back to our answers. Let's go down to formatting. So we can do alternating colors in our format here. So let's just make that a blue for fun. That looks pretty good. Let's scroll down to analysis here. This was just a breakdown of all the letters by value. That's a pretty good display of the data. So we can click on insert chart here and we can move this across. And you can click on the ellipses here and you can edit the chart and make changes to it as well. So this one is for column C's information. Okay, so that's the first example. Let's close Explore there and let's click on Sheet 2. And this time we've got some more data here. So this is a group of classes that are completing a number of tests with totals and pass rates here. All right, so we'll go to our Explore and see what it gives us. Okay, so distribution of section, median, that's not particularly helpful. So top 5 names, nothing very helpful there. So we'll click down. That wasn't all that great. We have an option to share more details, but we won't here at the moment. Again, we've got formatting here. We'll make this one blue. That's made life a bit easier. And let's have a look at some of the other analysis before we go and ask some more questions. First one we have is this chart, and it's a cumulative chart of each test. So that's probably quite helpful as we map each student as it goes down. So let's click on this to insert it, and it's inserted up the top here, and we can just click it. Let's just click it and drag it down, And we'll click it and drag it down one more time, just so it's in a reasonable spot. Okay. Okay, so underneath this chart, there's also a summary here, which is kind of interesting, and might not be the exact piece of data that you have, but I find it really good for inspiration on how to write a good summary. And if we scroll down to another chart, we can see another summary that's available for this one as well. So let's have a look at this chart. This is a scatter plot chart, and this is comparing test 1 against test 2 for the grades for each student. And it allows us to see if there's a decent line on our scatter plot to show that our tests are relevant or haven't changed too dramatically between tests. Okay, and then we've got count of sections. Well, we don't really need the number of students in each section to be displayed, so we'll give that one a miss. Now you can always select more, and it will come up with further details for you. So there's a good one here. We can see count of all the passes versus fails. Well, that's something that's important. So let's add that in, and we can put that down the bottom here as we start to create a little dashboard. I'm going to hold Shift and make that a bit smaller. I think that's about everything here. So what? I'll go up to the top, and we can click on this back arrow, and let's go to answers and ask another question. So let's maybe ask for the average total, and then before I finish that word, you can see down the bottom here we've got total, and what that is doing is looking for the headers along the top here, and it's found total. So that's what we want. We want the average total by section. And before I finish section again, we've got the section here, and that's appeared. So fingers crossed, and we'll hit enter to see if it comes up with something good. And here we have it. If we look down here, it is a summary of what we wrote, so average total by section, and it's highlighted these two headers and the answer, and it's given us a convenient pivot table here. Or if we select over it, we can see the chart. The chart's kind of okay, but I think the pivot table gives us more information. So let's insert the pivot table, and we'll put this in the existing sheet. And let's select our range here and hit OK. Okay, so now we've got our pivot table with the average totals. We can go ahead and make some adjustments to it and wrap so we can see what's going on. And we can even change the text if we wanted to as well. As you can see, the Explore button is pretty helpful. I think its best use at the moment in its current stage of development is for providing you with a bit of inspiration on how to display your data or summarize it. Right now, I don't think it's up to scratch to be something you can absolutely lean on, but it's still improving, and the more feedback you give Explore, I think the better it's going to get in the future. So that's it for the Explore tool. I'll see you in the next tutorial.